Right. I'm David Rosa. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Neat. We are a neobank based in Hong Kong, focused on the SME sector. So our mission at Neat is to enable the entrepreneur economy. What does that mean? It means that we're here to support entrepreneurs and their young companies to grow and expand internationally. Because we're based, which is Hong Kong, we are focusing on helping you grow internationally into Asia. And that starts with our first proposition, which is to help you incorporate a company in Hong Kong. There are many advantages, as Hong Kong is an offshore financial center with low taxes, but particularly if you're dealing with China, if you're transacting with Chinese merchants, there are multiple advantages of having a company there. However, as some of you may know, one of the biggest pain points of Hong Kong is actually having banks support these young companies and opening bank accounts. But this is where the next step in our solution kicks in. We have a fully compliant digital KYC process that's market-leading in Hong Kong. The government there gave us an award 3 years ago. We got granted 2 patents for the method and process that we use. And coupled with bank-grade cybersecurity, what this means is that whether it's yourself, any other ultimate beneficial owner or director of your company does not need to come to Hong Kong to incorporate a company or indeed open a Neat business account. Now, once you open the account, what you get is a set of payment instructions that are multi-currency and are SWIFT-enabled, so you can receive money from around the world. At the moment, we do this in US dollars, in euros, in British pounds, and of course, Hong Kong dollars. We issue unlimited amounts of corporate expense cards to your staff. They can be physical cards, they can be virtual cards. They can basically spend online, offline, all around the world for corporate expenses. We enable your company to make bank transfers, may they be domestic or international, all around the world, but with a special focus on China. For those of you who are dealing with China, you know how painful it is and how expensive it is to actually make cross-border payments, and that's one of our specialities. Now, for those of you who are in e-commerce, we help you with partnerships that we've struck with Stripe for payment gateways, with Shopify for your online store, and we're now about to announce a partnership with Xero for online accounting, and so we've automated even the bookkeeping of all the transactions that you do. Now, as I mentioned, we are headquartered in Hong Kong, but we also have offices in Shenzhen, in mainland China, and in London, in Europe. Why? Because we focus on this corridor of Europe to China, right? And there are 3 use cases today of why customers come to Neat to help them solve their pain points. The first one is European buyers of Chinese goods that they then on-sell into the European market either via B2C websites or wholesale via the B2B trading community. The second use case is the mirror image of that, is this Chinese local SMEs that come to us to go international, to sell their goods all across the world. And last but not least, it's a more recent phenomenon, we're seeing quite a bit of European entrepreneurs selling services into China, particularly in the education sector. So today, more than 50% of our customers are actually Europe-based, which is why I'm here today. We're already getting traction with very little promotion, but we have a lot to do, I think, and the market is very big. There are almost 400 billion euros of Chinese goods imported in Europe every year. There are more than 5 million SMEs, European SMEs, that are buying products either from China or from Southeast Asia. This is a huge market for us. And so over the last 2 years, we've developed an ecosystem of partnerships with fantastic brands, which is very interesting because on the one hand, this is probably the most interesting way we acquire customers these days, but also what pushed us to do a lot of work on our own brand. And when we looked around the world at other neobanks or challenger banks, what we've noticed is that they are basically positioning themselves as the hero. You know, screw the banks. Let's just, like radicalize and change and disrupt all this banking stuff. And so in an analogy that is more Star Wars-like, these are all Luke Skywalkers, right? So in that context, we decide to stand out of the noise and become Yoda, all right? So for us, the customer is the hero. We give the customer a platform. We organize these community events, which we started in Greater China. We've expanded across Asia, and now we're starting them in Europe as well. So on Thursday, 5:30 p.m., please note your calendars, at Paris Fintech, here in this very same building, we will have our first community event here in Europe. So when you put everything together, anywhere from a company incorporation, the Neat business account, and the community, This is how we at NEAT enable the entrepreneur economy. Thank you.